taking first cut. Golly! Welcome to the First Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman, and this is your mega preview pod for this week's Wyndham Championship. It's storylines, it's best bets, it's one and done. It might be conspiracy theories. It's everything you need all in one spot. Joining me to break it all down, Patrick McDonald is here. And Patrick, don't go crazy just yet, but you, my friend, you might be in the eye of the storm right now.
I am. I'm rocking my zero restriction golf rain gear today, kind of stress testing it out. And yeah, we're getting through Debby together. Welcome to the Carolinas, Rick. I hope it's treating you well.
Thank you. I texted Patrick this morning and making sure he was nice and safe and toasty and cozy, and I didn't have to worry about the time difference, which was nice. Kyle Porter is here, and I've got a lot for you, KP. First and foremost, welcome. It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too. I feel like I just, you miss one day and it's like, it feels like I missed 2 weeks. So much happened.
You missed a very important lesson in math class, and now you're behind, and you're going to have to learn sine and cosine all by yourself.
Summer school.
The first thing, KP, is we owe you a piece of hardware in which Josh is going to deploy next to your name right now, and you are now currently looking at the podium of our Olympic championship competition. Yeah, so Kyle Porter, bronze. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Bronze is great. I'm always happy to medal. It's also good to know that had I clicked send about 20 seconds earlier, I would have gotten a gold because that's what you got.
Yeah.
So I was on the right path, which is good to know.
Yes, you had all the right guys. It was just a moment too slow. The other thing is, KP, I think you'll appreciate this. As I look at you and I look at Patrick, I am also looking at the Greensboro Grasshoppers take batting practice right now, because my view from the hotel is straight into the bay. I'm going to watch the game tonight. They better not get rained out all week, because they're at home all week and I got free tickets.
So I saw I think you put a photo on Instagram or Twitter or somewhere, and you looked. Are you down the left field line, right field line? What is it?
I'm down the right field line. I'm just a touch into foul territory, but I mean I can see the entirety of the field. I've got great seats.
That's amazing. First of all, is it a premium on the hotel, or is it just like, well, if they're in town, you get it's kind of a built-in upgrade?
I think it's just a built-in upgrade, because it's just the hotel is right next to the stadium. I'm on that side of the hotel, and considering it's high single A ball, I don't think that they are using it as a promotional or marketing or monetary tool. That's my setup. So I'm sitting at that desk right now, looking at the foul
pole right there.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Dude, there's one 2-lane. I mean, this hotel must get hit all the time. I just watched a guy. If he was left-handed, it would have hit the hotel. He hit an absolute bomb to left field.
It's like the warehouse in Camden Yards.
Yeah.
First of all, you need to get a Grasshoppers hat. That would be amazing.
For sure.
And second of all, do we know any famous alums of the Greensboro Grasshoppers? What club, what big league team are they even affiliated with?
I believe the Pittsburgh Pirates.
The Pirates. So maybe Skeens was there last year. I doubt it.
He probably went straight to like AA or AAA. Here we go. Notable. Oh, you are gonna not believe this.
Andrew McCutcheon, perhaps.
Jason Bay.
Wow. So first off, it looks like they have not always been with the Pirates. So that's the first key. Yes, they have been with. Okay, this is unbelievable. The Greensboro Grasshoppers have been around since 1932. And they
older
have been
than the Masters.
They have been affiliated with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different teams, nearly half of Major League Baseball. Okay.
That's okay. So
I get around.
I don't understand how that works. Like, how do you just like, if you're, I don't get it. Like, if they have all these Pirates guys, so then let's say they move to the Reds next year and they're affiliated with the Reds. They don't keep, like, all the Pirates guys are gone. They just get a whole new team? Like a whole new group of humans, of people?
Yeah, I guess they have to, right? Because they can't take the players with them. That's a different organization.
Isn't that bizarre?
Or do they take the players with them? Don't they? Aren't they
No,
under?
they
No, they can't.
no, they can't because like let's say Paul Skeens was there last year after Pittsburgh takes him number 1 overall or whatever. I think he went 1 or 2. It's not like the Reds would just get Paul Skeens.
Right. Yeah, I
He
don't
would
know.
have to. But this happens all the time. Minor league affiliates change who they're with all the time. It's really odd.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. It's a great question. But
do you think we'd be talking about high A baseball?
Here are the notable alums. I'm just gonna give you the 3 most notable Hall of Famers. Okay.
Wow.
Johnny Mize. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say,
Larry Mize's brother.
A team.
And the other 2, the 2 biggies, both played for the New York Yankees for the entirety of their careers.
Jeets.
Derek Jeter, number 2. Really? Derek Jeter. Yes, that is correct.
And Bernie Williams.
Not a bad
Jorge
guess.
Posada.
Not a bad guess.
Mariano.
Yes. Damn. Both of those guys did play, but I guess they're not in the Hall of Fame yet. I guess Bernie did not play. Jorge played in 1992. Andy Pettit in 1992. Mariano Rivera was here in 91 and 93. Jeter was here in 92 and 93.
Jeets was a skinny boy. He was small.
How about this? Giancarlo Stanton when he was Mike Stanton.
Oh.
It's forever ago.
Yeah, the legend that is Mike Stanton.
So this is an illustrious team with a lot of history, and I'm excited to watch games this week.
That's amazing. I'm gonna look up Grasshoppers hats while Patrick's breaking down the European Ryder Cup.
They got to be sick.
Do we have any? I feel like I didn't have an outlet for my takes on Sunday for the Olympics. Was there anything spicy that was said? Scotty,
still good at golf.
Rom,
for sure. Rom.
I mean, I don't think there's anything. I mean, Rom choked it away. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing even spicy about it. It's an absolute fact.
I guess my question would be: Are you guys more in on golf at the Olympics after that event?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it was like the general consensus that the first 2, they were kind of just handed the short end of the stick with the Zika virus and a golf course that no one knew, and then with COVID, and this had all the factors kind of converging, and it just happened to be a great tournament too. So Rick was like, yeah, these are going to appreciate in value. Talk about the inflation of a gold medal in golf.
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah, like 100 years from now, gold, they're going to age really well. The other thing is top heavy payouts, for lack of a better term. I know there wasn't money involved, but when there's only 3 spots that matter and 60 golfers, top heavy payouts are sick, right? Like every week we get, 41st, that's 20 grand, and 39th, that's 22 grand, and 2 more FedEx Cup points. And it's like, okay, whatever. But like, if they only gave out FedEx Cup points and they only gave out money to top 15 or better, like that would be awesome. And that's what the Olympics breeds, because there's only 3 spots that matter.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I remember I had dinner. This was probably post Rio, but pre Tokyo. So like 2017, 2018, I had dinner with Mark and Trevor. And Trevor was talking about how like meaningful the golf in the Olympics would be. And I was kind of like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't see it. And I think he had like a global perspective and foresight there that I obviously don't have. And I think he's probably right. And then I think the other thing is like the Olympics are, like, I know it's an individual event, and I still wish there was a team aspect. And Rory was talking about like 6 days of play with 2 teams. Like, give me all of it. Like, I want all of it. But I think the idea, and I wrote a column on this on Monday for CBSSports.com. I think the idea of you're playing, you're not like you go to these majors and you're playing against other people, like you're facing off against people. You're not really playing for anything or for anyone, I guess I should say. You are playing for something. You're playing for a trophy, but you're not playing for a country necessarily. And I think and you do that at the Ryder Cup, but it's a little different because the context of the Olympics, of there being 10,000 athletes from 200 countries or whatever it is, and playing for your country. Like, I mean, you saw Scheffler on the podium, like that's meaningful, you know? And I think everybody who plays golf underestimated, like, think about 2016, like guys being like, oh, I'm not going. Jason Day, Rory, Spieth, everybody. And now how it's viewed, I mean, Rahm talking about how, like, I let down all of Spain, and you're like, oh my gosh. Like, and he kind of, I mean, it's kind of true, you know, and that context, you cannot get that anywhere else.
Yeah, it's a good call. The dynamic of flipping it from who are you playing, what are you playing for, being bigger than yourself is something we rarely ever see.
Yeah.
We're going to get more of it, Patrick, because the women start tomorrow. That's a Wednesday to Saturday start. Nelly Korda, you're reigning gold medalist. Obviously right back at the top of the board and being one of the betting favorites. And Lydia Ko, already in elite territory in modern Olympic golf with a silver and a bronze to her name, could get, this is like, if it's a career grand slam, what is the equivalent of winning a gold, a silver, and a bronze in golf? That's like the gold. Gosh. I don't even know. What would we call that?
Pretty much hitting for the cycle, but not obviously. I mean, it's unbelievable because, I mean, 12 years apart.
The perfect podium.
The perfect podium. Sure.
There you
go with that. And I mean, we talked about it last week, Rick, when Xander was in the lead, how there's a chance that if he won the gold medal, being a back-to-back gold medalist, which Nelly Korda obviously has a great chance to do, how long that would stand as the only back-to-back gold medalist in golf.
Yeah.
It would be for quite a long time.
Yeah, just based on the qualifying in general is going to be hard to do multiple times in a row.
Mm-hmm. Especially for the U.S. in both the men and women. So Lydia Ko also has an opportunity to, I believe she needs like one more point to get into the Ladies Hall of Fame, which would be a medal also. And so, yeah, it should be great again. I'm pumped about Jay Lindeberg. Seems like they're firing on all cylinders for the women. I think a lot of I thought there were some casual takes out there last week with the men's side. I don't mind the baseball pants. The polo on Sunday, hand up, bad. I'll admit that. But I think generally, compared to other countries, I think they earned the silver medal in fifths behind Australia.
Australia
was electric, man. Jason Day in the visor.
It was insane. Jason Day's just he's out of control. But the hilarious one to me is France, because it's just like France. Like, yes. It's like somebody got in word art and just created France in there.
You know what threw me off is there were like 7 different countries that wore white pants and red shirts on Sunday. Japan did it, Spain did it, Canada did, like every country that had red in their branding went white pants, red shirt on Sunday. And I was very thrown off by that.
Spain needed fireballs to outfit them. If they had those outfits going, they would have turned some of those French fans into Spanish fans.
What if they would have brought Sergio along as like a director of apparel or something?
Or a team captain. Like they had Thomas Bjorn out there for the Danes. Why not?
Did they have Thomas Levet out there for the French boys?
Oh, maybe. I thought I saw Gregory Havre out there in the crowd.
Victor Perez is awesome, by the way.
It was sick. Patrick enlightened me to the way that he played the front and the back nine. He was electric coming home.
Oh,
every day.
And like, I think everybody, we talked about this some last week, but everybody, and this is sort of, I'm interested to see this for the women because it's the first time we've seen an electric crowd and just like audience for the show. And so I just thought that was awesome. And I'm really intrigued to see if that is maintained during the women's portion.
I think the women's side, the French representatives from the women's side, I think are generally ranked higher than the men's side, right? Celine Boutier, who's their second representative? Do we know?
I saw it earlier today. I can't remember.
But I think they're generally better perceived in their sport. 33 different countries being represented, 2 more than on the men's side. They are kicking off tomorrow. Lots of great storylines. We still have a lot to get to, Jen, so I'm going to make a hard pivot here. Patrick, the European Ryder Cup qualifications have been updated. No more will there be a European list and a world list? No, get rid of that.
So confusing.
Yeah.
One single list. The top 6 players on that list are in. Then there will be 6 captains picks. The OWGR will not be a part of the criteria, which means that will allow, I guess it won't necessarily box out live golfers, but there will be a emphasis on big time PGA Tour events, on the Rolex Series events. They'll kind of be weighted in a standpoint in which, there you go. Josh is showing it up on the screen, in which playing well at the big events is going to earn you a lot of points.
Mm-hmm. My tiny brain appreciates them making this one list instead of 2. That was always tough to follow. And yeah, I think the big thing is obviously the live guys, when you have players like Tyrrell Hatton and John Rahm over there, and them needing to play in 4 DP World Tour events to ensure they're members on the DP World Tour. I can't imagine either of them will have trouble paying the fines, but you look at their schedule and what they have to play this fall. And I know John Rahm's wife is also expecting here during the fall also. So he's got a lot of things going on. The Olympics does count, I am told, towards the DP World Tour. So they only have to play 3.
They count everything.
Yeah. So Rahm only has to play 3. And so,
but they also count the majors, don't they?
I think
it's like DP World Tour events, like non-major.
I thought it used to. This might not be the case anymore. I thought it used to be 8.
Got it.
And you just take,
because they definitely used to count the majors. So if it is now 4, but they have to be like straight up DP World Tour sanctioned events, that would make more sense if they did it that way.
Yes,
which is like only halfway true of the Olympics. It's, I mean, it's, I don't know.
So I mean, he has to play mid-September. He's going Chicago for Live. Then next week, the team event, which is across from the BMW PGA Championship, so he's not playing there. Then he has to go probably to Spain the following week for the Spanish Open, and then maybe do the Dunhill Links, and then go to Dubai at the end of November or beginning of November, all while wanting to be home with his wife. So it's going to be a tough run and a busy one for John Rahm to get those starts.
So do you have to play whatever it is, 8 or I guess 4 DP World Tour in each year?
I believe so. But by the time the Ryder Cup rolls around in the fall, I think they'll be okay.
Well, like, I guess what I'm saying is, do you have to play 4 in 2024 and 4 in 2025?
Well, the Ryder Cup's in September, so it's before the season's over for the Live or for the DP World Tour. So they still have an opportunity.
So it's just 4 between now and then.
4 between the now and the DP World Tour Championship.
But then for 2025, do they have to fulfill any obligation, any like tournament obligation?
I assume it's the same 4. Yeah.
Okay. To be honest, like, I'm not even sure if live players are banned from European Tour events. I feel like it's gone back and forth, and like you got to pay, but then you can. I'm so confused on that.
That was my original, but I knew that some guys had been playing, and I thought there was a lawsuit still in the works, but I don't know if there was ever a resolution for that. But there are a couple guys who play those events regularly.
Yeah, well, Louis won twice in South Africa last winter. Joaquin won. They all played the Alfred Dunhill Links last year.
Burmeister won one, I think.
But then you've got Poulter and Westwood like yelling at the clouds. So I have no idea like what I don't know.
Some of them are playing. Westwood and Poulter and those guys, Gooch, are doing what I thought all of them would do, which is like, I'm just going to play 14 times a year and I don't care about qualifying for anything, and I've got my bag. Some of these guys are ending up playing a lot more than they probably would have if they just stayed. Now, obviously, the money's a little bit different, but some of them, right, if you still do want to play majors, like Joaquin Niemann's playing Asian Tour events. If you still want to be a part of a Ryder Cup team, John Rahm and Terrell Hatton are going to have to play 4 DP World Tour events. Some of these guys are going to end up playing significantly more than they would have.
Yeah, I think Poulter, there is a list of them. Maybe Stenson, maybe not, but Poulter and a few other guys just dropped their DP World Tour membership. They're like, yeah, we're good. We're just going to pay these fines real quick, rinse our hands of it, and be done. But others, every time they play a live event, they have to pay, might be like 100,000 euros, something like that.
Which is
so it'd be
crazy.
like 1.4 million euros for John Rahm, perhaps, to pay, which when you think about it is literally a drop in the bucket.
Wait, how did you get to 14? How did you get to 1.4 million?
Times
every time you play a live event, you have to pay the DP World Tour.
Oh, that's what Patrick said. Every time you play a live event. Oh, okay. That's crazy. I thought he was saying every time you play a DP World Tour event, you have to pay.
No, you have to pay because you're basically you're in breach of like your membership with every time you play elsewhere. That's not approved. It's like when guys try to get their waivers from the PGA Tour.
Got it. So they have not been granted their waivers, so they're paying their fines along the way.
Exactly. Basically.
Yes.
They just keep parking in the same parking spot and keep getting ticketed over and over again.
Yeah, literally. It's 100,000 euro on players who compete in conflicting events without a release. So
I did not wrap my head around that originally.
Last May, it was Sergio, Lee Westwood, Ian Poulter, and Richard Bland resigned their DP World Tour memberships.
Sure.
But I mean, Blandy's like a rock star right now anyways. He can do whatever he wants.
He might be the captain after Luke Donald.
That's a perfect segue. What,
I was going to say, is there any scenario in which Rahm is not on the 2025 Ryder Cup team?
No.
Because
they will. Oh, I guess that's the other thing. Rahm doesn't have to play. Oh, no, he does. He would have to play to be eligible. But no, nothing could happen in which he is not selected.
Yeah.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, even if he somehow didn't play enough events, it'd be like, well, we kind of amended the bylaws, and
they would change it.
Like, it's the only thing that matters. Like, and in a lot of ways, there's some leverage here for like Rahm and well, I guess Rahm's maybe the only guy, but the European Tour, all they care about is the Ryder Cup because it floats the rest of their business. That's probably an incorrect way to say it, but it's certainly like. If without the Ryder Cup, I think they're like financially insolvent. Like it doesn't work. And so Rahm's like, well, you guys know the deal. So in some ways, he has like weirdly more leverage than he did before when he was on the European Tour.
Right, because you're assuming that because it is such an important event that they need it to be the best it can be, which means you need to have the best players, which means you need to have John Rahm, which means John Rahm knows all that and says, let's chat.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be shocked if Luke Donald and him discussed these before they were announced.
Yeah. Is there anybody else like that? I mean, Hatton, no. Is that it? Just Rahm?
over there. Yeah, it's just Rom and Hatton were the only two guys who were on that Ryder Cup team last time. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
We're gonna turn our attention to a gal named, what's her name?
Debby.
Sorry. Debby, that little minx is causing trouble all over the southeastern part of the United States. We are going to talk about her, the Wyndham Championship, and much more. But first, we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners. And we're back. Debby, Hurricane Debby, has been downgraded to a tropical storm. She has made landfall. She's working her way up the coast. And Patrick, she's in your neck of the woods. And I've been watching 24/7 coverage of Weather Channel. And I've seen the flooding that's going on in Charleston right now. And I'm appreciative that you could even make it in.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But Rick, and probably everyone out there, just don't take the Weather Channel and what they present on TV as gospel, because as someone who has been on the ground, manning the street, passing food, diapers, water bottles to those trapped in floods, the grounds here in Charleston are pretty dry, to tell you the truth. I saw the Weather Channel man. I'll leave his name out of this. You probably know who he is. When he comes to your neck of the woods, it's a good sign to evacuate. Typically, he has 1.3 million followers on Twitter. And I was shocked. When I came across him. He went to the most flooded street in Charleston. If you drop a drink in downtown Charleston, this street will flood. It's kind of just what it is, right? If someone goes to the bathroom on a tree, guess what? This street floods, right? It floods no matter what. And this guy has the gall, the audacity to get his boots on. He's ankle deep. He's like, wow, look at this. Charleston, it's about to be underwater. And then you go on the other side of the camera and you know what you see? Kyle, I know you're interested in this. You know what you see? Dry land. Not a drop of water. And so they're just pushing this corrupt weather media narrative on us. And I can't believe it. I thought they were immune from this.
Patrick is implying, KP, that big weather is out for clicks and engagement, and they are hunting around Charleston for the streets that always flood. And they run, Patrick didn't say his name, I'll say it. They run Jim Cantor out there with his 1.3 million followers.
They just trot him out there
in his knee-high boots, saying evacuate, and all the while
Omar's coming. Patrick
is just chilling in Charleston.
That would be sick if the hurricane was named Omar. Is it a crisis actor situation, Patrick?
Oh gosh, potentially. I think this guy, he has this this aura around him when he comes to town, KP. It's legitimately like The Wire. Omar's coming. People board up, they leave town.
I just Googled it, and all the headlines are like, famed weatherman Jim Cantor arrives in Charleston as city braces for Tropical Storm Debby. If the Weather Channel Jim Cantor is in your area, you should be concerned. Jim Cantor is in Charleston. That's not a good sign ahead of historic flooding. Like, all those are real headlines I just read.
Yeah.
He's like a signal to get out of town. I'm actually more curious about Rick's opinion. Rick keeps telling me, hey, we've got the best weather data in the history of the world.
We do.
And so it seems like like what Patrick said and what Rick has been telling me over the last 6 months are kind of at odds with each other.
No, they're not. No, the
Rick, are you big weather? Are you not telling me something?
No, the weather is the weather. It's always right. The forecasts are right. Okay. But we've got, it's like these guys on the internet who talk about like fantasy golf and golf betting, right? They take any number and they twist it in a way that they just, in favor of their guy for that week.
The data boys.
The data boys, right? And it's the same thing. Those corrupt data boys are doing it in weather, and they're taking these beautiful forecasts and they're just, adding any context they want to them. That's what Jim's doing, and I don't appreciate it.
Thank you, Rick.
So what you're saying is you guys are not at odds.
The numbers are pure.
The numbers are pure.
Thing. You agree with Patrick.
Oh, well, he's my eyes and ears and boots on the ground. Of course I do.
Well, it sounds like he needs some boots to get out there with Jim.
I told him.
I might go tomorrow.
I told him, this guy's probably doing 20 live hits a day. Just walk behind him and call him out on cam.
He woke up late this morning. I will tell you that, because his first hit was not until 10 a.m.
Wow.
10 a.m.
Rick and I have already done like 3 hours of PGA Championship by that time. You need to take a sign like you're on College Game Day. Like crooked Cantor or something like that.
That would go. Crooked Cantor would be great.
Local golf media boy.
Get out of town.
Crashes the weather media party. I can't believe people are listening to what we're talking about right now.
I will say I'm looking at the path right now of Debby. Looks like she just jetted out to the Atlantic, and I could be in some trouble tomorrow.
Yeah, so I'll try to work this back.
Wait, hold on. You just said
Yeah, no, he's right. But Jim thinks he's in trouble right now.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
So you and Rick are like, you're in lockstep with each other. Rick's like, we've got great data.
Crooked Cantor said
we need to tell the truth, and you guys are both saying Crooked Cantor is sort of like hyping things up.
Yeah,
he was hyping it up today.
If he says the same thing tomorrow,
what's going on here?
Right. If he says the same thing tomorrow, he'll be right. But he's saying it today, so he's wrong.
Correct. Thank
and
you.
I stand
it hasn't happened yet.
So Patrick is right. He's in for it tomorrow, and Greensboro's in for it on Friday. And that is where things could start to get sticky when it comes to this golf tournament. Thursday doesn't look great. Friday definitely does not look good. KP, this is we talk about this all the time. How much you have to get this event in, right? I guess they could shorten it, but this is the final chance to get into the playoffs. I sat in the presser saying that each of these guys was asked to a man. Oh, it's the last week, blah, blah, blah. Like, you got to get this in.
You do. I was just thinking, so we always push these things back. I wonder if they've ever been moved up.
This would be the time to do it. That's
what I'm saying. Like, they should have started it today.
Yeah, they could have gone today and played if they played 36 they could have done 4 rounds in 3 days, or what they could have done is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and either Sunday or Monday for the final round.
Yeah, right.
Very easily.
Just get at least your 36 in so that you can, because I think 54 is like a legit event. And then 36 is, I mean, we've had 36 hole winners, Adam Scott, Riviera. It's weird, but I think especially at the playoffs next week, you want to get at least 54 in. And I mean, they'll go to what, Tuesday or Wednesday of next week?
I always thought they wouldn't go to Wednesday, Patrick. I thought that, I know there is a very specific, like, if we start and get X number of holes in, they'll go to Tuesday. There's a byline to go to Tuesday.
Tuesday's the latest.
I don't think Wednesday's in play.
No, they had, when Finau won in New York, that was a Monday finish. I know that was during the playoffs. And then, even Wyndham Clark, that was 54 holes, and they canceled Sunday. Yeah. And then they canceled the tournament on Monday, right? Or Monday night, something like
that. I thought it was early, yeah.
Have you ever thought about, like, what if Augusta, Georgia just got like 8 straight days of rain starting on Thursday?
Well, now I'm thinking about it.
Sorry, RBC Heritage.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
clear the schedule. Who cares?
Yeah.
It'd be crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it would never happen, but it could.
Now I got to go look up like the wettest April in history. and see how close we ever were.
Look, I think the weather here's the storyline for the logistics of the event, but also, the way it plays out. I know you're out there kind of scouting out the grounds today, but we could be in a situation where we get a mutter like a Shane Lowry that, starts to thrive a little bit more than some other guys based on what kind of weather it is. So it's going to be, it is kind of an intriguing subplot to the final regular season event.
I would say just starting out, be patient. The guys they're already resigned to start and stop, and this might get delayed. Like they all are aware of that. It will not be coming at a surprise. I think Patrick.
Real quick, who has the most at stake this week?
Shane Lowry has, I believe, $1 million at stake at number 10 in the Comcast top 10. That's why he's playing.
That's a good call. I forgot about the Comcast.
Number 10 is $1 million.
I think that's what happens. He said at the Olympics that's the only reason he's playing, to stay inside the top 10. I think it's $1 million.
They might have changed it this year. I didn't think it was that high last year. They might have moved some of the PIP money into the Comcast.
Let's see.
So yeah, that's a lot. But is there anybody like besides that, Rick? Like who would you say outside the? Well, I don't know. Like, how would you answer that? Like,
my original thought was I went to like the guys just outside or just inside or just outside the top 70, which I think that, but actually maybe it's maybe I should go to 125 and see if any of these guys are going to lose their card or not.
Well, they got the fall for that now.
Yeah, see, that's true. That's why I think Patrick has the right answer here.
I think Nick Dunlap is a good, like he's had a great year and he didn't get the points for the American Express win. He got 300 for the Barracuda. It's crazy to think two-time winner, one of 5 two-time winners this year, or multiple-time winners, and he might miss the postseason.
He's 65th right now, so he would need.
He's probably good, right?
I think he's good because he is he has like a 70-point lead on 70th, so he would need 5 guys or 6 guys to earn 70 points. I don't even think that's possible, is it?
I don't think
we need to get him into the top 50 though. I mean, to kind of go along with that point, it's one thing to get in the playoffs. It's another thing to miss out on the Siggies next year.
Okay. I think today was my first. Do you have the payouts?
Well, I got 2023, which they've doubled it because Rahm won $4 million last year, and Scheffler is going to win $8 million this year. It's $40 million prize pool, and Finau got $1 million for 10th last year.
He got $1 million.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
everyone inside the top 5 got over too.
It is the worst activation on tour. It's literally.
I agree.
The FedEx Cup standings. Do you know how stupid it is when on television they show you, here's the top 10 in the FedEx Cup standings, and then they say, and now here's the top 10 of the Comcast Business Tour top 10, and it's the same list, and all they did is switch, and they're acting like they're pulling like the wool over our eyes. Just make it something different. Make it only the events in which Comcast is in the market of. Make it, I don't care. At least the Aon risk reward thing is like, okay, 1 hole every tournament. You cannot have it be a complete copy of the FedEx Cup standings. Those are already fraudulent. Why are we paying a ton of money for even more fraudulent standings?
I saw, okay, so a couple things. Is there an Aon risk reward leaderboard? Like, do we know who's leading that?
There is.
And then 2, I saw maybe the best tweet I've ever seen over the weekend.
Oh boy, that's pretty good.
Andy Johnson said the best golf tournaments all have one thing in common. They aren't about money. And somebody replied and said, exactly. They're about FedEx Cup points.
That's good. Actually, Patrick, did they do away with the holes?
So Aon, they have the next 10, the swing 5, and the new chief marketing officer. That I think that was sign and trade cash considerations in there too. But it looks like only the LPGA has an Aon risk reward challenge based off this quick googling.
I agree. There used to be a stat in their data feed as well that would show you the standings and the scores and all that stuff. I think they traded in the PGA Tour risk reward for the swing 5 or the swing 10 in the next 5 or whatever.
Oh my gosh, that's a
Rick. Nobody's more invested in like the ranking, like all this stuff, and Rick has no idea what it's called. Like if Rick doesn't know, pretty much 0 people know, other than those that work for the PGA Tour.
It's horrible. So there is an LPGA leaderboard. So, oh wow, there are. Yeah, this is who did it? Fang. Didn't she sit? What was who won the risk reward for the ladies last year?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Tyrrell. I'm pretty sure Tyrrell won it for the men.
He did. Talk about a walk-off homer.
Well, for sure, and like nobody exudes, calm thinking under pressure like Tyrrell.
There was a year where the lady who won it withdrew from the last tournament so that she could not be caught.
I remember this. This was it might have been 2 years ago, Rick.
Because $1 million on the ladies tour is like huge.
Yeah. That's actually, yeah, I would do that too.
South African Leanne Pace.
No.
Yeah, that's her. I'm looking at this article from CompleteGolfer.com. Has to be real.
She withdrew?
Pace withdrew during round 1 of the CP Women's Open on the LPGA, citing a nagging hip injury.
Sure.
The mid-round exit meant that her scores for the day were erased. Why the drama? She had just made a quadruple bogey 9 at 14, the hole that identified as part of the season-long risk-reward challenge.
Yes.
Her withdrawal means Pace was able to keep her running average intact and maintain her lead of 0.49 shots over Hoi Ju Kim. I butchered the hell out of that. Apologies to Miss Kim. But yeah, $1 million.
Yes.
That's crooked.
She made a 9 on the hole and just bounced.
I know what it looks like, but I can guarantee that's not the case. It's legitimate. It just happened to happen there on that hole.
I believe that the WD was legitimate. It's not like I believe that she WD'd.
Oh man.
Wow.
That is so funny.
What a podcast this is. We've been all over the planet. Jim Contour, Leanne Pace.
Crooked Contour.
Nobody's getting deeper. I'll tell you that. Yeah, there it is.
There we go.
Print that out.
Ship
them, overnight those to Patrick, and he'll be out there in the morning. Although by the time Patrick gets behind him, it's going to be pouring, and he's going to be right about it.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but I got to back it up. Got to back up this talk with action. No action, weatherman.
One last thing before we get to our bets and our one and done. This was the first time I think I ever asked a question in a press conference. So
great question.
Thank you. So I was trying to get some clarification on the Jordan Spieth wrist injury. I'm not sure I got it, KP, but it was he's such a thoughtful answer. It sounds like he is heading towards a postseason rectification of this wrist issue that he has.
Well, he did. I watched the video. I think y'all both posted it, but I think I watched Rick's. Was that just with your camera, with your phone, Rick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Patrick had the official one.
And the thing I was thinking in the middle of it is like, you don't have to just keep talking, Jordan. Like
I know. I know.
He just kept talking.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking my arm's getting tired here.
He kept saying stuff. I think what he was saying is like he used about, and this is a very Spieth thing to do, he used about 500 words to say, I'm getting surgery on my wrist in the off season.
Yeah. Like he could have just said, listen, it's been very annoying. It's kind of all over the place, but I'm going to get it taken care of in the off season.
Which has kind of been the rumor all year. I thought the thing that the thing that he said that was the most interesting is one. Well, it's they kind of go hand in hand, but he said this has probably been my best driving year ever, which I was like, probably. It's like not even close. And then two, his wrist, like his injury or whatever it is, doesn't hurt when he's playing, but it's almost like in his head as if it like let's say he has a 7-iron and it digs in. He's like, oh, it's gonna hurt, and even if it doesn't, it's still he thinks is affecting him. So I thought that was
right,
maybe farther than he's gone with the way he's talked about this before.
Yeah, I kind of said, Patrick, subconsciously, it worries him more than it actually physically ails him, but he cannot separate the two.
Yeah. And pretty much like, yeah, my iron play has been atrocious this year.
So bad.
Because of that. He also said something weird where, so it started last May at Quail Hollow. That's when he started to tape it up before the PGA Championship. And then he said, then it happened in October. Now it happens like every other week.
Yes.
Where, what do you call it? What's the word for it? It's something, it starts with an S, like superplexed or something.
Suplination? No. Subluxes. Subluxes.
Yeah, sublux. Sublux?
What does that mean?
Subluxes.
He was describing it as the ligament pops out of its little crevice it's supposed to be in.
And rubs against the wrist bone, I believe.
And then he has to get it back in. And then that's when the pain goes away, I guess.
Yeah. So he's like, every other week that happens, and I'm in a ton of pain. But when I'm swinging, no pain at all, which I thought was kind of didn't really make much sense to me.
Yeah, it just happens throughout the day. He didn't explain, but like just throughout his life. So like, I don't know, maybe he's carrying groceries in and it pops out. But he says it doesn't happen on his swing, but it just happens in his day-to-day.
That's kind of what he referenced at the Masters this year, Rick, where he kind of said like, yeah, it's this thing that I'm basically scared of happening, but doesn't happen all the time. I mean, I'm wildly paraphrasing, but that was kind of what he was getting at.
Yeah. So we'll see.
This is his worst approach play season since 2019 and his second worst ever.
Damn.
So 2019, he was minus 0.1 strokes gained on approach, which is, I mean, he's traditionally like a 0.4 to 0.8 guy. Like he's a good, he was 1.15 in 2017, which is insane, like best iron player in the world. 2019 minus 0.1, and this year he's right at like 0 basically. He's basically an average iron player, which is what the results show. And also
that's what it's felt like.
Yeah, and also like not who he is. I think people think of him like that, like, oh, average iron player gets up and down from everywhere. That's not really true. Like he's historically, when he was winning majors, been a very good iron player. I mean, think about 15 at Augusta, like just hitting sticks on Thursday and Friday and shooting 64s. That's more of who he's been. So this is a pretty this is a long ways from that.
He is currently 63rd in the FedEx Cup standing, so he's good. He will be in Memphis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
TBD on Colorado, but he will be in Memphis next week. We are going to look at this field, give you our best bets, reveal our one and done selections, and then we're going to say goodbye. But first, we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners.
We need your sports news anywhere.
We've got breaking news to bring you.
Then get your sports anytime you want them. Big trade news overnight to discuss.
Because we know you need sports all the time.
A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
A legend adds to their legacy.
We're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
CBS Sports HQ, anywhere, anytime, all the time.
And we're back. Gentlemen, let's turn our attention to the bets for this week. Josh has given us $100. We've taken it over to FanDuel Sportsbook, and we put 50 on a matchup. That was a bomb that guy just hit. 30 on a finishing position, 10 each on 2 separate outrights. And then he shows us the grid, and it looks like that. Yes, congratulations. Thank you very much, Patrick. Oh, we just got done talking about this guy, and you said, you know what? I've heard enough from Jordan Spieth. He made me feel nice and calm with his remarks about his injury.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
ton
awesome.
of confidence. Complete vibe check here. The iron play, obviously not good, but it has been better over the last month at least. And like you said, the driver's good. And for one reason or another, I know he's won twice in the past few months. I just can never buy in on Bobby Mack. I don't know why. It's a me problem. I got to figure it out. But I went with Spieth, complete blind, throw the dart at the board. Hopefully it lands at a -133 over Bobby Mack. Steep price, honestly.
Yes, steep price. Keep that in mind for my guy. We'll get to that in just 1 second. KP, you've got an even money matchup. Who over who?
Yeah, I've got Keegan Bradley over Harris English. I was kind of going through just recent form, and he hasn't been amazing, but he's been fairly consistent just across the board in terms of the performances that he's putting together. And Harris English, who is a good putter, has been mostly doing his work with the putter. So I'm just a little bit betting that that's going to regress a little bit, and that Keegan will beat him this weekend.
Yeah, Keegan, I think, has been a little distracted by the Ryder Cup stuff, but this is a good spot for him. I'm interested to see if he can get it going. And then I heard something, because this line was talking to me and I was listening, because there is no conceivable planet in which Steven Yeager, who has not played well this year, should be a favorite over our recent top 10 Olympic finisher, Nikolai Højgaard. And I said to myself, this is wrong. And Vegas knows something that I do not. I went Steven Yeager -120 over Nikolai Højgaard. Finishing positions.
Is that what you always say to yourself?
Oh, of course. How else would I address myself? Exactly. We've got 2 top 20 wagers and a top 40. KP, I'm bouncing it back to you.
Yeah, Brian Harman hasn't missed a cut since the Masters. He's got 6 top 26s since then, most of them at big boy tournaments, the Scottish Open, the US Open, the PGA Championship. So he's played good golf. This is a lesser field. I think he finishes in the top 20 this week.
If he does, it's +135 for Brian Harman. Yes, he's been playing probably a lot better than people realize that he has been. I went Chad Ramey deep down the board to finish inside the top 20 at 5-1. He's giving me breadcrumbs. He's playing better in his last 2.5 starts. This is a weak field. A lot of weird things can happen. This is a decent spot for him. I'm going for a dart throw on Ramey. And Patrick, look at you. You're going with pedigree this week. Not necessarily recent form. You're going pedigree.
I am. I'm going with the Canadian Nick Taylor, top 40 +140. He's actually been quite poor since that win in Phoenix, mostly because of the putter. It's completely betrayed him, but the iron play looked really good. Had a nice weekend at the Olympics, has a couple top 10s at the Wyndham Championship as well. And so, little game within the game. He is number 50 right now in the FedEx Cup, so needs a big week, and I think he'd much rather do a little dirty work this week than next week. So I like him for, honestly, a good tournament, and top 40 at +140 seems pretty generous.
Yeah, Greg liked him a lot on Monday as well, was making the case for him. So a little bit of enthusiasm around Nick Taylor. Patrick, I'm going to just give it right back to you here. Hot potato, 2 separate outrights. They're both in a similar range for you, 30 and 35-1. Who are they?
I went with Brian Harman, 30-1. Everything KP said. He's the only player in this field over the last 6 months to rank inside the top 30 in approach play and putting. And he's also very accurate off the tee. So I think that all lines up for Harman. And then Christian Bezuidenhout, 35-1. Had a nice week at the Olympics, 16th. He was alongside Victor Perez that final round. And honestly, all in all, a really good year. 4th at the Memorial. Played well at the Travelers too. So I think this is a golf course where he could get his first PGA Tour win.
It is shameful for Patrick that Kyle has put together a path to perfection and Patrick has not. KP, you are trying to stay live here with a perfect grid because you've got a PGA Tour winner and you've got an Olympic women's winner.
Yeah, that's right. I've got two people on here who have been kind of sneaking around the victory recently. Akshay, 35-1 to win Wyndham. And then I've got Jin Young Ko at 12-1 to win the Olympics. She's been T12, T4, T8, just kind of hanging around the top of that of the boards that she's been on. So I'm kind of betting on this. Like, I subscribe to the theory that people who like come close, they eventually knock off that win. It's kind of like the Ricky Fowler thing from last year where you're like, man, he's been like really close recently, and then he gets it, and then who knows what happens after that. But I think there is often a buildup to those first, like not first, but two big victories, like what would be for both of these folks this weekend.
Jin Young Ko, 12-1, Akshay Bhatia 35-1. I went with Cam Davis at 40-1. He won a couple of starts ago, hasn't slowed down. He's got some good finishes around this place, and 40-1 is just too long. And then I have just, I'm throwing up a little bit in my mouth, but I'm suppressing it to bet on Eric Cole at 60-1. He, along with Chad Ramey, amongst some others, are kind of giving us a 2 or 3 start stretch that I think is important. I think it's noteworthy. I think if you can hit it close and make a lot of putts here, you're going to have success. 40 and 61 for those two respectively. Now, our bonus bets, an extra $50 that we get to put on absolutely anything. I'm going to get out of the way here. Pearson Coody, top 40 at plus 240. He had a runner-up finish a couple of starts ago. He's much too talented in this field to be this long. KP, you too here have gone to the women's side of things, and this would be very cool if it were gonna happen.
Yeah, Rick, you and I need a dub this weekend. We're struggling.
Yeah,
I've got Celine Boutier to do what Victor Perez. Well, I guess he finished top 10, didn't he?
Finished solo fourth.
Okay, so to match what he did, I wanted to be on somebody that was French this week because I thought last week was so cool with Perez. Now, if you're on the other side of that, Matthew Pavon, I believe, is DFL, so that would have been tough to pick the wrong one. But I think we get some of the same this week. I think this week is going to be a sneaky great Le Golf National weekend for the fans. So I think Boutier is going to play well and finish in the top 10.
If she does, it'll be plus 140. And Patrick, it is good to see that not even a tropical storm could keep you off track here. You're going back to the well, and you have selected what?
I'm going with the Prince, Sung J M, 14-1 to win. Subscribing to Kyle's theory of building up to win. He has been awesome, really all spring. You take away the miscuts at the PGA and the US Open. He hasn't finished outside the top 12. So I think he's due. He's obviously played super well at this golf course, 5 top 25s in 5 tournaments. So I think it's time for him to get his first win on the PGA Tour since, I believe, fall of 21, which is crazy to think.
That was the Shriners?
Yeah.
Wow, that was 21.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Tom Kim went back-to-back.
Is that right? He hasn't won since then?
And we haven't had fall of 24 yet.
He's won the Woo Ree Financial Group tournament on the Korean PGA Tour a couple times.
He also won tag team gold with Siwoo at the Asian Games.
But no PGA Tour.
That was a big one. Does Sungjae get enough criticism for not winning?
No, you brought this up before, and I think it's correct because we ran the numbers on this. He has like the Xander Schauffele top 10 rate and like 1/5 of the winning percentage.
Yeah, like he's almost like South Korean Fleetwood.
Well, first off, I mean,
he's 26.5 now.
Yeah, he's no spring chicken anymore.
I do like he does not get criticized enough.
Because how can you criticize him? He's so cute.
He missed 3 cuts at the majors this year.
Yes, decidedly bad.
And 2 last year. I feel like he's kind of just I don't know, a top 10 aggregator.
He's
an
ninth in the
aggregator.
FedEx Cup somehow. Well, I mean, he's played well, and I guess since Scotty Scheffler has won every single event, you don't really need to win to be inside the top 10.
Scotty's hogging all the points.
Yeah.
And he plays every week, so
yeah, it's gonna become a problem for me soon. It should probably already be a problem, but I really like him. But it is a problem.
Yes, agreed.
And his 2 wins are what?
Not
Honda. Yeah, Honda and Shriners, which are like 2 of the weaker fields you can get.
okay. So Sung Jae is, let's see here.
Josh said, so in conclusion, my best bet is for that guy to win.
Statistically due.
Okay, so he top 20s at a 45% rate.
Wow.
Which is pretty good, but like it's not like Rory's at 63%, Rom's at 62, Scheffler's at 62, Xander's at 58.
Okay, but give me like what's Cantlay?
I gotta pull it
You
up
have
for
that?
you. Cantlay is at 52.
Okay, so 40, they're both right around half the time.
What about Sam Burns?
But Cantlay wins 5% of the time, and Sungjae wins 1% of the time.
Yeah, this is the same problem we ran into last time. I don't think we sliced it with top 20s, but whatever we sliced it in, he was comparable to a top 10 player, a top 12 player in top 10s, top 5s, top whatever we did, and then he is 1/5 the winner.
Sam Burns is 38% of the time he top 20s, and he wins 3.3% of the time.
Yeah, so he's not even in the mix as much, but when he is, he wins 3 times as often.
Yeah, Sungjae wins 1% of the time. That's not good.
He should be on a Burns clip.
On
Like they're talked about in the same light. I feel like Sam Burns and Sungjae.
Yeah, but I got you. Yeah, I mean, like, okay, so well, let's go with Fowler because he gets so much criticism. Hold on. Ricky top 20, 39% of the time, so a little less than Sungjae, and he wins 1.8% of the time. So that's also not good, but it's still more than Sungjae. Sungjae's 1.1% of the time he wins.
Yeah,
it's a true 1%er.
It's not good. It's not
the
good.
1%er.
He is the 1%er.
You picked him.
Well, yeah, this is his 1 out of 100.
He's due.
So hold on. If he wins this week, what would that move his percentage to? Do you have his total starts there?
Yeah, it's 178. Does that sound right?
So he'd be 3 for 178.
176.
Okay.
3 for 176. He almost doubles it. He go to 1.7.
Okay, so he'd move up to Ricky.
All right. So he just has to win this week.
Let's do it.
One final thing to do here, gentlemen, that is to release the one and done selections. It is not a big purse, but then we are going to get into some massive purses the rest of the way. We've got a couple of duplicate selections, but not from you, KP. You will lone wolf this at $8.5 million. Your selection, please.
Yeah, Brian Harman. Hadn't used him, and he was my highest ranked guy, so I just went with him. It's not much more complicated than that. He's been playing. I mean, again, he hasn't missed a cut since the Masters. Been playing good golf. He's kind of somebody that just flies under the radar. You're like, oh yeah, and then all of a sudden he'll pop up. You're like, oh yeah, Brian Harman really like made $45 million in his career. So hopefully for me, that weekend is this weekend.
Josh and Greg both have the same golfer, so I'm going to save it till we get up to Greg. Patrick and I have the same golfer, so we'll save that so we get up to Patrick. Mark went with Sungjae Im. Are you worried about that, Patrick? Because that's your pick to win. He is lone wolfing it, and he can close the gap on you.
I'm not too concerned. I've kind of built myself a moat here, unlike Crooked King Tory. And I feel pretty good being kind of in second place right now. The 9s and 8s, you guys could flip flop a ton. I think Kyle's in for a big week, honestly.
Yeah, I'm looking to podium. That's about it.
Yeah.
Patrick, you and I will ride together. This worked out for us last time. I can't remember who it was, but we won the week for sure.
Okay. I'm trying to think back also.
It was probably the 3M then, right?
Tony Fino?
Maybe. Tell the people who we have this week.
I went with, or we went, myself and self went with Billy Horschel, Libido Boy. I pretty much, kind of similar strategy to Kyle. I went down the odds board and I was like, oh, dang, I used Shane Lowry then. Oh, I already used Sungjae, and Billy Horschel was the last man standing. So good history here and playing pretty well. So not too mad about it.
Does anybody else mud it up better than Billy Horschel? Backwards hat, sneaking up on putts, just like loving life. He just loves getting dirty. I'm with you here, Patrick, coming off the runner-up finish at the Open and well rested. That leaves Josh and Greg, who have each selected Cam Davis, which I have on my outright sheet. So yeah, I can't beat him up too much. So for those just listening at home, Greg is at 19.3 million Cam Davis, Patrick 13.5, Billy Horschel, Mark 9.8, Sungjae Im, Rick 9.2, Billy Horschel, Josh 8.8, Cam Davis, Kyle 8.5, Brian Harmon, and I'm out of items, gentlemen. Is there any final thoughts that you have before we get out of here?
I got two things.
Yeah,
go ahead.
We have a live show tomorrow on CBS Sports Network that is at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Okay,
I'll be there.
That's all I wanted to say.
Couple things. One, I tried down Jim Cantore on Instagram. His latest post, Patrick, see you on the coast real soon. Prep for Cat 2 and massive flood potential.
Yeah, see, and now he can't walk that back.
Cat 2 now?
He can't walk that back.
He's hunting.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing, actually, I've got three things. Second thing is Jim Cantore's on Cameo, so I might need to get that for Patrick for his birthday.
I'll split it with you. Let's do it
for sure. Yeah. When's your birthday, Patrick?
End of February.
Okay. Well, we
can't wait that long.
Yeah, maybe a Labor Day special.
Okay.
And then 2 or 3 is, I think Josh has a picture of this. I pulled up some Greensboro Grasshopper.
Oh,
how good is this?
I need a grasshopper who's wearing a hat with his little antennas coming out through his hat, throwing a baseball on my hat. I need that.
He's jacked. He looks like a swimmer, like an Olympic swimmer.
This is definitely steroids era grasshopper, but he didn't do leg day, skipping leg day.
For sure.
Can't go all orange, Rick. Cannot go all orange there.
I think the green is the way to go. The green.
They must have a team store, right? Like if I walk over there right now, the team store must be open.
That green one is with the G is awesome.
I'm very optimistic about this. Yeah, I will be the proud owner of a Grasshoppers cap shortly.
They might give you one. They might let you be the bat boy tonight.
You should try to throw out the first pitch.
I would die if I threw out the first pitch.
That's honestly like a bucket list item to throw out a first pitch.
I would love that. I might have to go talk to somebody.
Could you?
It's like, hey, you got anyone throwing the ceremonial first pitch tonight?
Could you hit 75 on the gun?
Oh, yeah, I could.
You?
I could today. I'm gassed up today. Let's go.
I think Rick could. I think he could.
Yeah, I think I could too.
It would hurt. You would be in pain.
Yeah.
I
would.
Big Ben post injury. Oh,
yeah. I'd be willing to rip everything in my shoulder and elbow to get it done.
We're gonna get a video of like Rick in a sling at the Wyndham.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is my clicking hand too, so I need it.
But he'll be wearing that green Grasshoppers hat.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Well, Absolute blast. We'll see you all tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern time on CBS Sports Network. And then Josh will take the audio and the video. He will rip that, upload it all to the channels. And then we will have our round by round recaps each step of the way. But I'll warn you, might be a little flexible. Who knows when these rounds are going to end? Big thanks to producer Josh, who does all the hard work behind the scenes. Kyle Porter is available at Kyle Porter CBS. Patrick McDonald at P McDonald CBS. You can find me at Rick Run Good. This has been The First Cut. We'll catch you next time.